Okay, long story short. No, actually, it's going to be a long story because it's worth a long story. It's kind of funny, too. Took us 15 to 18 months to get my mom to go ahead with the birthstone for my dad. The grave marker for my dad. It took us for me to buy a ladder from a place that was actually closing down. I bought it on sale, and to use that to go over to the Jewish cemetery to put down the fence so we could actually walk and we could see the grave of my dad. No joke. No joke. And we had to put the fence down with the ladder to go see it. And saw my dad's gravestone for the first time. And the only time, by the way. And the only time I have not been back there, and I'll tell you why. I put 2 cars up there, and I think my Aunt Charity actually glued the little 2 Hot Wheels for like Noah and Jonah. Because Noah and Jonah never saw the gravestone or anything. I'm not in their lives, and they're not mine, unfortunately. Some people say fortunately. I don't know. There's a lot of conflict there. But, so after we actually kind of broke in to the Jewish cemetery to see his gravestone, I drove home that afternoon. I was completely torn up. I had, finally some closure. And then when I got home, and it was weird. When I got home, she wasn't home. She was at her parents' house with with the boys. Started going through the mail. She decided to empty out the bank account. She only knew this because in the past, when we get along, I was trying to take out money, and then I actually put it back. And then she found out, and I remember I was in the basement playing with Manny. She's like, "You can do that without my saying?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can do that. You got a joint bank account. I can take out your money. Why not? It's our money." And she's like, "That's like stealing." And it was so fucking ironic because what she did was exactly the same thing at the worst possible time for me. So I go home, and she's not there at all. And it's funny because she's kind of cold with me, like on the phone. But Sherry was a cold person overall. But anyhow, she was like really cold to me. Like there was something that was already done, that was in place, that I wasn't even like, I was bothering her if I tried to talk to her. And this was the reason why. I started looking through the bank statements, and I'm like, this account changed, that account changed, this address changed, this address changed. And all these address changes changed to her parents' house. I was like, where are the kids? What's going on? And I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, motherfucker, she's taking the kids, she's moving with her parents, and she's taking all the funds and everything else. She's worth like, I don't know, $750,000, whatever. She always had money. Our money was never grouped together because her parents controlled everything, including her life. And they know that. Hi, Dave Rowe. You guys know. So I'm not being vindictive. This is just how it went down, folks. They can't sue me for this is the truth. So I went over. I ran because I was just like, I was completely clusterfucked. And I went to my neighbor, Jamie, and I'm like, "Jamie, my wife is taking all the money, and she took the kids, and I think I'm going to have a divorce pretty soon." And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, "I don't know of any attorneys, but, you should like talk to her or try to confront her or whatever." So this was after I drove back. This was after I seen my dad's gravestone for the first time. This was the most hardest points of my life to push me to a crux of doing what I attempted. Was it planned? Abso-fucking-lutely. She knows it. Complete plan. Completely planned to a T. So I go over to my in-laws' house. I gotta be honest with you, I'm blowing lights. I don't care. That's it. I've completely, am completely lost, dumbstruck in my own mind, and just all of it. And I knock on the door. And her dad answers. Cause the problem, really. And takes two to tango. I agree. I just married the wrong fucking family. And open the door. And I confront him. And my kids are right there. And we were fortunate. We never had to get daycare. We never had anything. It was always her parents, her parents, her parents, her parents, her parents, her parents. And everybody's like, you can see where this is going, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, but, it was okay for me for a while, And then they kind of sit down with me after I didn't have a job. And they were kind of talking to me about what could happen. They gave me a warning. I forgot that. Well, fuck that. I forgot about that warning. You know what? I should have said, you get the fuck out of our lives and maybe shit'll be better for us. But I didn't. Because I was stupid. She was a school teacher. Mom made good Jewish food. Unfortunately, that was it. And so I confronted her father, and I was yelling and screaming at him. And I confronted the mother. I was yelling and screaming at her. I said, these are my fucking kids. You're never going to have a cough after their name. It's always going to be Berg. You're not their mother and father. I am their father. You cannot get me out of the picture. Over and over and over again. And then Sherry's like, Sherry came to the door first because she didn't want me going in there confronting the kids. She didn't want me talking to the kids because they didn't fucking know. I think one was 17 months or 15 months and the other one was like 2 or whatever. And I lost them. I lost all that when they were very young. So, and then I walked in and then I confronted both of them. And then I told her, like, she's fucking nuts, go to hell kind of thing. I was pissed. So I went home, blew all the lights, went upstairs, took every single fucking bottle we had. And it was probably newer. Jonah was probably 9 months or 10 months. 9 months? No, we had shit for the C-section still because she had a C-section. And she wasn't healing right or whatever. So I took fucking all of it. All of it. I've had depression ever since I was 21. She knows that. And actually, Manny was looking at me. Manny looked at me and I looked at him. And then I took another round of all the shit in there. I went downstairs. Either I called Neil or I called Benny. It was Neil. I go, Neil, my wife's leaving me. I just took a bunch of pills. I'm going to kill myself. He's like, why? And I'm like, I can't. I'm not a father. I'm not a husband. I'm not this. I'm not that. And everything else. And he's like, why would you do that? Don't do that. Why would you do that? Don't do that. And I'm like, and my legs were going numb. I took a whole bunch of shit. And my legs were going numb at that time. And I was standing on the porch of the house they picked out. And go figure, right? And they took in the trash case and they got a lawn service for it. And I couldn't paint my house and I couldn't power wash my house. It goes on and on. So I knew when I got the lawn service I was fucked. I knew that was it because that was my only time that I could just concentrate and do what I wanted to do in my own house. It never happened. I had to wait for her fucking dad to decide where to put picture frames and shit in the house. It was that to the minute. Got tires for the pilot and she got all pissed off because I didn't talk to him first about tires. Fuck him. Seriously. So anyhow, I go downstairs. Yeah, and he's like, Don't do it, man. Don't do it. So either I think I called Dave, either I called Dave, told him, or I called 911 myself. And they used that attempted suicide against me. I had to prove my sanity for 4 years with a shrink. And then go through, well, the first test, I did. It was appointed by the judge. I didn't pass that. So I went to my shrink that I paid for out of my pocket, and I started paying her child support, and she wanted like $1,500 a month or whatever. I was making Mac money back then, and that's what they based it on. I was like, yeah, you're not getting this. I got one lawyer and I fired another lawyer. But anyhow, so they came. I forgot this point. They came. I got in the ambulance, went to the hospital, got my stomach pumped. They put that tar inside you and you throw up. I don't remember if it was that bad or not. It was probably kind of bad. It wasn't as bad as you expected it to be, but it was bad. Then my friend Gotham came in and he talked to me. I met him when I was working. And he's like, why'd you do this, man? Why'd you do this? I'm like, well, my wife's leaving me, my kids are leaving me, and the whole thing's over. He's like, no, man, don't worry. You don't do it this route. You don't do this route. They're gonna use this against you. And sure as shit, fucking they did. And I took everything to prove my sanity. And so I could see my boys unsupervised. I'll talk about that in another video. I think people should really understand how bad the system can really just fuck you over when you did not do anything wrong. So before I got checked out, they're like, do you want to voluntarily check yourself into, clinic? It's Green Lawn. And I'm like, what does that mean? It means you voluntarily say, you need some help. And I'm like, okay. They used that against me horribly. The bitch actually served me papers visiting me in when I was like second day in there. Yeah, my second day in there. She visited me and she's like, I'm getting a divorce. You need to get a lawyer. I'm gonna present you with papers and I'm taking the kids. It was like, why are you visiting me? It's like, you already just fucked me over. Now you just keep on fucking me over. And she didn't want me to go home. And actually, the social worker said she cannot legally tell me I can't live in my own house. But that's what she did. That's what she did, basically. So that was the start of the nightmare. Now, the first nightmare was marrying her. That was the start of the second nightmare, to be honest with you. It was an extreme. Even the dog was like, what the fuck you doing, man? And that was the one time I saw my dad's grave. I have never gone back, unfortunately. Before I went down there, to be honest with you, our marriage was going through the shit. And we were going to get divorced. But she had to fuck up everything. I just want to watch Talladega. She had to fuck that up. I just want to do something. She'd fuck that up. I mean, I knew where we were going. We knew where we were going. This wasn't like a complete surprise. Just how she did it was completely surprising to a point where I would do something extreme. The bitch was right. I did. And if she's watching this, there's nothing I said that wasn't true. Nothing I said that wasn't true. So, I speak the truth. That's about it. Peace.